don't have enough clothes or the clothes of their liking, so they try to steal them or try to obtain them illegally. And all those factors mixed together leads that child to being in the back of a police car fighting with an officer on News Channel 5. And if you go on the News Channel 5 website or the Facebook or even Fox 17, lots of news outlets, you go to the comments of reports about African-American youth and some type of issue, and a lot of times they won't even have a description of what's going on. You just see an African-American child in handcuffs. All those comments and stuff, berating the child, talking about, well, now they're just getting rid of the nasty blacks on the street and all that. None of those people stop and think that so many factors led up to that very moment. No one wakes up wanting to be a criminal.
Those are the challenges.
You know, when you said something about, the school administrators, a child does something in school, and they look at the behavior only and never look at the root, what could possibly be the root cause of this behavior. And when you think about it, Dr. Haney, some of the challenges that youth face today, now you're living in a community, you've grown up with another child, a few more kids or something like that, and then this child goes out and he gets killed. And then where's the counseling for that child that knew this child that got murdered out there in the street in such a horrible way? There's no counseling being provided in those situations. Now let's take, for example, somebody go in to shoot up a school, right? What do you hear? Well, we're going to bring counselors, we'll be available and stuff like that. Well, you can bring counselors in a situation like that, but when this child gets shot down here on Seaford Street somewhere in North Nashville, and there's no counseling, he sat there, he watched his friend get shot in the head, at point blank range, and now he's suffering possibly from PTSD, and nobody's offering him any counseling, and then he acts out based upon what he experienced, and then the first thing they want to look at is his behavior, but instead of looking at why is he acting like this. So, there's also another level of discrimination there. I can provide you services on one hand, but on the other hand, there are no services. You got to, deal with the best way you can. And this happens over and over and over. And I don't think a lot of people just put much attention on how that can impact and affect the thought processes of a young individual that has to experience stuff like that, Dr. Haney. And it goes on and on and on and on, and it's like a never-ending cycle. And then at the same time, you got to face the challenges of how society has painted you, young black African-American male. You have to look at how society has painted a negative picture of you, and in essence, trying to get society as a whole to be afraid of you, so that when you show up, the doors are being locked. Black people locking doors, white people locking doors, Hispanic people locking doors, Latinos locking doors. Everybody locking doors when they see the black person. Everybody's distancing themselves because the media has painted this picture. Because what do I say? They only show the negative side. They don't show the positive side. And then even in showing the negative side, they still don't show the root of it. Why is this individual, why did this 12-year-old go out here and steal a car? Other than the fact that he went out there and stole a car, he's 12 years old, he shouldn't be stealing cars, and that's true, he shouldn't be stealing cars at 12-year-old. But why is he stealing cars? What is his home life like? What is he not being having access to, Dr. Haney? What things what roadblocks are being placed in his face? Maybe he was like Alana and was in school, a great student, and applied for a position, and they shot him down, and he's like, well, what's the point? I put my all into it. I did everything y'all told me to do to be successful, to make it happen. And then when I get to the point where I should be rewarded for all my efforts, I don't get rewarded. I get shot down for it, and then they put somebody in the spot that's less qualified than I am for the spot. And then where did my mind go from there? You got to look at all of that stuff, man, instead of just looking at, okay, this child, he did this, he did that, he should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law and all of that kind of stuff. Look, I believe that, and I was a criminal. I did crime, and I should have been locked up when I was locked up. They should have locked me up. They did lock me up. I'm glad they locked me up, because if they hadn't locked me up, ain't no telling how my criminal mindset would have escalated during that period of time in my life. But at the same time, there are people that commit crimes, Dr. Haney, that don't need to be just locked up with the keys thrown away. They need some counseling. They need some encouragement. Why